How quickly your website loads affects everything. It affects how your visitors use your website. For example, it affects your conversion rate, and of course, it affects your site's ranking on Google and the other search engines. But when it comes to picking a hosting service, many of us, affiliates and online marketers, hardly pay attention to speed. A big part of making a website fast is by installing tools and plugins to help. But the other part is by choosing the fastest WordPress hosting possible. You see, the thing here is that optimizing your website to load fast will certainly help. But at the other end of things, how fast a page loads will always be limited to the server that the WordPress site is hosted on. So if you are looking for a hosting service that will help your website load quickly, then you have to start looking far beyond the hosting prices and start paying attention to the factors that will make your website run fast. In this video, I'm going to walk you through some of the things that you should keep in mind when looking for a fast hosting service. The first thing to keep in mind is the location of the hosting service. Now, it's important that you host your website in a geographic location that is closest to where majority of your website visitors are. That means if you are in the UK, for example, and your targeted visitors are also based in the UK, you need to host your website at a location in the UK. The same thing applies if your targeted audience are in the US, then you want to get a hosting account that is based in the US. Why? Well, that's simply because if your visitors in the UK click to get to your website and your hosting is based in the US, for example, it would take a couple of seconds, maybe 0.5 to 1 second, for the link to hit the server in the US and come back. In such a situation, your website will be running at a pace of about 0.5 to 1 second slower when visitors' network has to cross the ocean. Now, not all hosting services offer hostings in all locations. So before you commit in any hosting service, make sure that the service is close by. Now, if you are an affiliate marketer serving an international audience, then it's really important that you use a content delivery network. A content delivery network, CDN, is simply a distributed network of servers around the world. So hosting services with a built-in CDN will help reduce the impact geographic location has on your website speed. Luckily for us, most of the top hosting services have a built-in CDN service, but it's always worth keeping that in mind. The next factor to keep in mind is the speed, reliability, and uptime. Now, the hosting service that you choose to run your website on needs to be able to handle the number of traffic that visit your website. If you think your website is going to have a huge amount of traffic per month after launching it, you might want to get a larger server. A website's uptime and reliability can easily be overlooked, but it's important to note that if your website is down, that means it's effectively at zero speed. So you have to always make sure that the hosting plan that you choose matches the traffic level that you expect on your website. The next factor to keep in mind when looking for a fast hosting service is the hosting support team. The truth is, when you start running your website, at some point, you're going to need support. Here you want to look if the support team can easily be reached, what their response rate is. Are they able to help you with general technical problems that are not strictly related to hosting? What's their experience with website management? Having an understanding of what your expectation is upfront is really important. So make sure to also keep that in mind when choosing a hosting plan. I've personally experienced the value of a support team on a hosting service when I was transferring my website from HostGator to A2. And when it comes to a qualified and efficient support team, A2 has the best hosting support team. The A2 support team will help you transfer your website from another hosting service to the A2 platform, and any problem after that, even with the basic plan, you are sure to get a solution or at least direction on what to do next if it's out of their hands. Now, the next thing to keep in mind is to avoid popular slow hosting providers. If speed is your top priority, then you should start avoiding some of those popular hosting services. The popular hosting services we all know, like Bluehost, GoDaddy, HostGator, and so on. These popular hosting services all run a business model that is based on price being the key feature. In order for these popular hosting services to give you that $3 per month hosting plan, they have to run their server to a limit. Some of them even hardly keep their infrastructures up to date and provide poor quality support. Having said that, if price is an important factor for you, hosting services like SiteGround and Cloudways are the best, and they are still relatively dead cheap. Cloudways is a new hosting service provider and is by far the fastest because of the speed optimized server stack, but it comes with a little bit of learning curve. So if you are looking for the fastest WordPress hosting service at a relatively good price, Cloudways is the one. Now, if you already have a hosting service for your website, you can always use tools like Pingdom.com or UptimeRobots.com to test your website speed. In a perfect world, you expect a website to load under 1 second. So after testing the speed of your website and you see it's something that you don't like, you can always transfer to SiteGround or Cloudways. I'll drop the links to both websites in the description box below this video. And with all that, I'll call this a wrap. I hope this was helpful. If so, hit the like button below, share on your preferred social site, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss another helpful video. Yeah.